Auckland City, home with the tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere, the Sky Tower, and the Sky City Convention Centre. Venue for a night of professional boxing live on 3 Sport. Three Sport and Cullen Sports presents a 5-fight card of professional boxing. First up, Kiwi welterweight fighter David Wiremu takes on the Australian Stephen Marks. Then it's to the heavyweights. Richard the Tutaki Express against Steve Irvine. Jason the Psycho Suttie takes on Lawrance Tauasa. And Paula Mataele steps up to Bob Gassio. Then it's to our main event. Kiwi heavyweight Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron takes on Gilberto Melo from Brazil. It's all on for a huge Saturday night of knockout boxing. Saturday night fights from the Sky City Casino and Convention Centre, an international fight club tonight featuring boxers from Brazil, Australia and New Zealand. Of course, counting down to our main event tonight featuring Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron. Good evening, team. I'm Clint Brown. Glad you could join us on 3 Sport live for a night of knockout boxing. Well, there's a real buzz in the audience tonight and the atmosphere here at the Sky City Casino, and plenty of drama too for the team at Cullen Sports. Unfortunately, there's been a late change to the fight card. First of all, we have the welterweights David Wiremu up against Stephen Marks. Then Richard Tutaki Express takes on Steve Irvine. The other big heavyweight, Paula Mataele, now takes on Phillip Hellisoe. Bob Gassio was a replacement for Paul Robertson, but the Australian actually was involved in a car crash this week. So both those fighters are out, replaced by Phil Hellisoe, who's from Beachhaven, making his pro debut. The big one tonight, Shane Cameron against Gilberto Melo from Brazil. Remember, the main event over 6 3-2-minute rounds, or 6 3-minute rounds, and the other ones, the 4 2-minute rounds in the build-up for that fight card tonight. So plenty of action, so don't move. And of course, it's going to be a big night tonight for Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron. This is his second fight under the management of Cullen Sports, his first at home. So it's a big step up tonight for the former shepherd from Tinoroto on the East Coast.
Well, I grew up in a little place called Tinoroto, 40 minutes inland from Gisborne. Asian ride my horse to school on occasion. I love the farming lifestyle. It gave me a good structure straight away. Boxing didn't come till later on in my life. I've always wanted to get involved in boxing, but the only opportunity I got was when I flew over to England for my OE, and that's where it started 6 years ago in a gym in England, and never looked back. When I first come back from England was probably the turning point. I dedicated a lot of my life to qualify for the games. There's a lot of dedication. Couldn't go out drinking with all my mates and what I'd love to do, but I turned to stay home at nights and train the next day. So that would have been the turning point of my career, and then winning a medal at the Commonwealth Games, and then turning professional after that. What everyone's got to remember is Shane didn't have a very extensive amateur background like many of the other successful fighters today, and Shane to step up and win a bronze medal on his limited coaching really was awesome. So there's still a lot for Shane to learn. Long-term goal, become heavyweight champion of the world. Short-term goal was to win tonight.
And joining us ringside tonight to call the action, top American boxing commentator is going to be doing the blow-by-blow. He's been here and done that before with a Fight for Life. Now he's back for the real thing. James Smith, alias Smitty, all the way from, what, Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. I'm in Mexico tomorrow. And then I'm going to be off to see Mike Tyson in Phoenix. So I think it's only fitting that I'm here in New Zealand to call a lot of heavyweight action tonight.
Now, you've seen Shane Cameron and Paula Mataele fight in America with the tour camp. Slightly different here for Shane Cameron because at the moment, the worldwide heavyweight scene is wide open?
Probably the most open I've seen it. And you can't get much better than his record. He's 6-0, 6 KOs. But what I'm looking for is his development as a fighter at this stage in his career.
What do you mean, what are you looking for? Certain types of sort of moves or punches or what?
Well, just all overall skills. The fact that he's moving his head, jabbing, and doing the things that he's going to need to do to step up to the higher echelon of the heavyweight division.
Okay, it's a big night for a guy from Beachhaven called Phillip Hellisoe, who's stepping into the ring for the first time as a professional debut. Paul Robertson, the Australian, was involved in the car crash this week, so he's out. He was replaced by Bob Gassio, but he was stopped in about 3 weeks ago. He's in a mandatory 6-week stand-down period. So now this young dude, 28-year-old, makes a debut against the Tongan Tornado.
Yeah, that's really stepping up to the plate, Hellisoe. And I mean really stepping up to the plate, because Mataele is the typical, prototypical heavyweight of today. He's 6'6". He's 5-0 with 4 KOs. So you got to give Hellisoe a lot of credit. I'm really anxious to see how Mataele looks tonight.
A lot of colour and characters with the weigh-in too yesterday on the undercard, especially with the Aussies against the Kiwis. What are you looking forward to there? We got the Panther, we got the Destroyer, the Psycho, and you name it, they're there tonight.
I don't think the audience is going to want to go in. I think we're going to have some knockouts. What I'm really looking forward to is Richard Tutaki against Steve Irvine. Did you see this guy Irvine? He looks right out of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
So those heavyweights are coming up, but first of all, it's the welterweights. Wiremu is warming up, and we'll be right back live on 3 Sport. Boxing is next.
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Okay, and after the tail of the tape, I'm getting a little delay here. Right. Okay. All right. Why am I getting a little delay all of a sudden? I don't like. All right.
One.
Getting a little.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I'm getting it too, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Sky City Convention Centre tonight, we're counting down to our main event. Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron against from Brazil.
Got it now? Oh,
no, it's gone.
Okay, good.
There we go.
But first of all, a welterweight contest over 4 2-minute rounds. Would you please welcome from Australia, Stephen. And please welcome from the blue corner, representing New Zealand, Rawari. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to take your seats, please. We're just at a commercial break. We'll be out of that in about a couple of minutes, and we'll have our first fight for the night. Sit back, relax, enjoy your dinner, and enjoy the action with the welterweights.
I got you. Okay. I know. I got it all set. Just tell me when to go. Back at the Sky City Casino, ready to get the welterweight action underway. Let's take a look at how these two stack up. Both 30 years of age, a slight height and reach advantage for Wiremu, both coming off wins. Mark with a little bit of a fight advantage, 8 fights or more. Wiremu on a 4-fight win streak, all via the KO route. To get things underway, let's throw it up to Clint Brown with the introduction of these two fighters.
Introducing, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 65.3 kilos. He's 5'9", a 30-year-old with a record of 21 fights, 11 wins, 6 KOs, 9 losses and 1 draw. He's the winner of the Australian light welterweight title. Would you please welcome from Melbourne, Stephen Dynamite Mutko Marks. His opponent tonight fighting out of the blue corner, a 30-year-old, also 5'9", 65.8 kilos. His record is 13 fights, 9 wins, 5 by KO and 4 losses. A former New Zealand amateur light welterweight and Golden Gloves champion. Would you please welcome Rawuri David the Reaper Wiremu. And Jourdain Harris, who's the son of his trainer Glenn Davis, is going to put on a bit of a special haka for the Reaper. The challenge has been laid down by the Kiwi, accepted by the Aussie, and your referee for the first bout, the welterweights over 4 2-minute rounds, is Mr. Steve Marshall.
Get off, get off. Okay, fellas, I've spoken to you both in the dressing room. You know exactly what I expect from you. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Touch them up, get back to the corner, wait for me to call you out.
So we're ready to rock and roll from the Sky City Casino. James Smith at haka. That's what I needed for my career, was a little haka action going on.
Right back. Box!
Round 1, David Wiremu, Stephen Marks. Scheduled for 4 rounds. Both of these fighters orthodox. Feeling out process in round number 1. Wiremu coming off 4 victories, all by knockout. Marks the more experienced of the two.
Mark's got into boxing because he was just a young fella going off the rails and decided to get into the gym and actually do the real thing. So, pretty good career for the Australian out of Melbourne. Wiremu, former New Zealand Golden Gloves champion.
Wiremu, a pretty good amateur record, 50-10. Marks, 35 amateur fights.
And most of these welterweights just tend to sort of stand there and just basically bang each other for about, well, in this case, 2 minutes. Don't forget, 4 2-minute rounds. The warm-up belts. Kenny Rainsfield, former Olympian and also top boxing trainer, also joining us in the telecast tonight.
Thanks, Clint. Mark stepping up from light welter, Smithy. You think Wiremu will have a bit more power, a bit more punch?
Well, we'll see if he uses it. Right now, they're just going through the feeling out process. Under 30 seconds to go, round number 1 from the Sky City Casino.
Don't hold, boys.
Little body work by Wiremu. Not much on those punches.
He's got an awkward style, Wiremu. He's a tough character. He's had a good knockout in his last win.
Coming up to the end of a close first round of welterweight action. Back with more. Coming up for round number 2 when we come back. I lost my audio right when I went on. I'm sorry, I lost my... Yeah. Couldn't hear anything. But they corrected it.
I was waiting for the intro, Smitty.
Sorry?
That's me. I said I was waiting for the intro.
I couldn't hear you.
Couldn't you hear me? Okay.
Look at action in round number 1, Kenny.
Yeah, I'd like to see Wiremu step up a bit more on his punches. He's a bit messy, but It's only a 2-minute rounds they're fighting, Smithy, so it takes a while for them to work into their pace.
Oh, because they're only 2-minute rounds, there shouldn't be any feeling out process. These two should go right at it.
Yeah,
and again, it's only scheduled for 4 rounds.
That's true, man. They've got to go hard out, right from the bell.
Round number 2, David Wiremu, Stephen Marks, James Smith, along with Clint Brown and Kenny Rainsfield.
Certainly hope you're enjoying the early action tonight, live on 3 Sports, sitting back a night of knockout boxing here tonight. And of course the welterweights. Probably different, isn't it, Kenny, to you can't just sit back and enjoy a couple of 3-minute rounds. You've just got to get straight into it, explosive start.
Yeah, they haven't got much chance to warm up at all, so they really do have to fire out, and they've got to build up the points straight away.
Neither one of these guys appears to have a lot of power, at least here early. I mentioned that Wiremu coming off 4 victories and 4 stoppages, but neither one looks to be a big puncher to me. That
was a nice right hand, and that landed good. It was a good shot.
Gave that first round to Wiremu primarily because he is the more aggressive of the two. When you score a fight, you score with clean punching, effective aggressiveness, defense, ring generalship, and felt that Wiremu was the more aggressive of the two.
Well, Wiremu said he's the fittest he's ever been. The guy's a warfare. He works 60 hours a week. He gets up 5 a.m. in the morning and starts training. He says he's in the greatest shape of his life, so hopefully he'll put that to good use.
Comes from Tapawai College in Mangere. He trains at the Mangere Rec Centre, so he's a local boy, born and bred. And really pumped up for this night of boxing tonight. Good chance to show his skills and showcase what he can do to the whānau around the country watching.
Wiremu, those elbows of his a little bit wide. As he steps up in competition, he'll want to pull those elbows in. He's wide open for the body attack, but Mark's really not going to the body as we come up to 20 seconds to go. Round number 2, welterweights, David Wiremu and Stephen Marks.
I'd like to see him hold his hands a little higher too, Smithy.
Another interesting close round. Wiremu again, the one coming forward and perhaps getting the better of it. Round number 3 to come.
Break.
And we're in a break at the end of each round, correct? So I'm just going to lay out with 5 seconds to go. Okay. Action in round number 2, and most of the action again. David the Reaper Wiremu coming forward, the more aggressive. Mark's trying to avoid the punishment, but again, Wiremu doing enough to win these rounds based off effective aggressiveness. Inside the corner we go of Stephen Marks.
Dave Hitchcock is trainer, laying down the law for the former Australian light welterweight title holder, Stephen Dynamite Marco Marks. Up again, he's the Aussie fighting with the blue and red stripes, and the Kiwi David Ricard, the Wiremu's in the blue and the gold. So round 3, 3 Sport live from the Sky City Convention Centre. Big night at the casino. You're used to this sort of stuff in the States, mate, so this is something new for the Kiwi fight fans.
There's a nice combination by Wiremu. Marks with his back to you now. Again, nothing behind the shots of either one of these guys. Nobody's getting their power into these shots, Kenny.
No, they're not standing up, but he looks like he's starting a bit more aggressively, David Wiremu. I think he's starting to come on.
Only 2 rounds to go, so obviously with 4 2-minuters, you've got to really start, especially working after a couple of rounds, to start making the move in round 3.
Yeah, I'd like to see him turn his fist over a bit more too, so he can put a bit more power on that punch.
Marks told me that his best punch is the left hook, and what he needs to do is work the body of Wiremu, who has, again, the elbows out wide, but Wiremu is the aggressor. Again, coming off 4 victories, all by knockout, but I don't see a lot of power from the young man.
Well, that's a feature of the welterweight division sometimes, isn't it? They're so evenly matched, sort of height, weight, reach sort of capacity, that it comes down to a war of attrition and endurance test.
But, in that division, though, you have to have that combination of speed and power to go to the next level. And both of these guys, decent boxers. You can see the amateur experience, but, again, not really setting down on the shots, at least here early. But all of them are early because it's only scheduled for 4 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, that's right, man. They really have to work a lot harder.
30 seconds to go. Bobbing and weaving by Marks, but not enough punching. On the inside, Wiremu getting the best of it.
A few body shots now being exchanged as Wiremu forces the Aussie back onto the ropes. Big right, just about landed that one.
Nice combination by Wiremu as we come up to 10 seconds to go on round number 3, scheduled for 4 from the Sky City Casino. James Smith along with Clint Brown and Kenny Radensfield. Another good round for the Reaper.
Give him back those, Smitty, wouldn't you?
We head towards the 4th and final round. Marks needs to pick it up here in the 4th and final round.
So you're not being biased there, you know, being sort of a
You know that I'm not given to ambiguity or ambivalence. No vacillation on my part. I call it the way I see it as we're into the 4th and final round. Welterweights, David Wiremu again coming out, pawing with the jab a little bit though. Kenny needs to work on
up.
it.
He's got to put more weight on his jab, definitely, Smithy. He's not doing it.
Well, one of the mistakes he's doing when he jabs, a nice right hand by Wiremu, but what he's doing is he's stepping back when he's jabbing instead of coming forward.
Yeah, he's not putting any weight on the punch at all.
But another right hand by Wiremu lands. Referee breaks him up.
This Marks is mixing it up with him, though. He's not afraid of his power, obviously, so he hasn't hurt him at all.
Marks has a bad habit of looking straight down at the canvas when he comes in instead of looking at his opponent. He has a tendency to see him looking right down.
He's dropping his hands up, he's throwing his punch, he just brings him back low.
Again, Marks comes in here with a record of 11-9 and 1-6 KOs. Wiremu 9-4, but off the big 4-fight win streak, Browning.
You can hear the call too from the corner saying up the middle, up the middle.
Balance kind of a problem for both of these guys. Again, they're both youngsters. Although at 30 years of age, really in the welterweight division, they need to step it up. There's a combination by Marks, but he doesn't step in.
That's Wiremu's style, though. He is a very awkward fighter. He always looks like he's off balance when he's fighting. He's done it. He did the same when he was an amateur. It's very hard. It's just his natural style.
4th and final round. And you see most of the action provided by Wiremu on the inside. Mark's not a great inside fighter, but he's working hard trying in this 4th and final round.
Yeah, he's coming back. I think the Aussie's coming back on.
A little holding and hitting there by Marks, who...
Wiremu seems to be tiring just a bit as they get towards the end of the bout. 15 seconds to go. Last chance for the Aussie and for the Reaper.
Come on, Davey, put it on.
Good action by both fighters as we come to the end of our first fight, and it'll go to the scorecards.
David the Reaper Wiremu Rawiri from Mangere. First of the Kiwis in action tonight against the Aussies in the undercard. Counting down to Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron against Gilberto Melo from Brazil. Lloyd scores the fight 38-38. And Judge Leonard scores the fight 38-38. We have a draw. A round of applause for both Stephen March from Australia and David Wiremu fighting out of Mangere from Auckland. Dave, before you go, what's your reaction to that draw?
It was a close fight. I suppose it was fair, mate.
Are you disappointed? You think he may have won it?
No, I don't know, mate. It was fucking real close, you know. And I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it was fair, you know. Yeah.
Okay, that's live TV, and I think that is a disappointing reaction there for David Wiremu, who gets a draw tonight.
Well, now I know why they call him the Reaper. Coming up, it'll be heavyweight action. Richard Tutaki taking on Steve Irvine. These two went at it yesterday. Irvine already landed the first punch. 4 rounds in the heavyweight. You won't want to miss it.
How did you see that fight?
Oh, that was a good shit. Draw to be the win over there, so at the same time, everything the best can be. I'm getting good for one way.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you wouldn't believe it, when we were doing our warm-up tonight, we just thought that the first fight would be a draw, and there you go. We have a draw. What a good start for the night of knockout boxing. You're never going to get knocked out in the welterweights. Would you please welcome to entertain you, Luppy Mariner and Thomas Stowers.
I would give him a ticket. I knew that I would. I end up watching the fight.
I feel good. I knew that I would, baby.
I end up watching the fight.
Oh, so good.
I say
So good.
I end up watching the fight.
Oh, I feel nice, like a sugar and spice. Oh, so nice, so nice. I love you, yeah. Oh. When I hold you in my arms, you know that I can do no wrong. Then I hold you in my arms, my loving won't do you no wrong. I feel nice, oh, like a sugar and spice. Oh, I feel nice, like a sugar and spice. Oh, so good, you're so nice. I gotta you, yeah. Ow! When I hold you in my arms, baby, you know I can't do no wrong. Then I hold you in my arms, my loving won't. Oh, I feel you. Oh, I feel good. Like I knew that I wouldn't, yeah. Oh, so good, I love you, yeah. So good. Oh, I feel nice, like a sugar and spice. Oh, you're so nice, so nice. I got you. So good, so good. I got you, yeah. So good, so good. I got you, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome from Australia the first of our heavyweights tonight, Steve Irvine.
Comes right out of Mad Max, right out of Beyond Thunderdome. Look at the face of, he's happy to be here, isn't he?
Oh, he's a pit bull. This guy is I tell you, if you put him in a pit bull in the ring, you would never know the difference. Here's the tail of the tape. Richard Tutaki, he's younger, he's heavier, he's taller. Well, Irvine, look at the state of the guy. I think I'm going to go for Tutaki on this one, though.
It's a bit like he could play a serial killer or something, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's a mean-looking guy, but he's in good shape. You see him at the weigh-in, he looks in good condition, so we'll see. He's a lot of experience.
Steve Irvine makes his way inside the ring here tonight at the Sky City Casino.
And fighting out of the blue corner from New Zealand, Richard the Tutaki Express.
Richard Tutaki making his way into the ring on a 2-fight win streak. Guy was an excellent kickboxer.
Yeah, Richard was a good kickboxer. He's a tough guy, Rich. I tell you, he's got a granite chin. Shane Cameron said he takes as heavy a punch as he can throw at him, and he just keeps coming forward. He'll stand in front of you all day.
One of the things I liked about him, he seemed awful relaxed yesterday at the weigh-in, and he appears to be the same as he heads inside the ring tonight for his matchup against Steve Irvine. The Tutaki Express is ready to roll. All that's left to do is Clint Brown to introduce these two fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, he weighs in at 101.5 kilos. He's 6'1", 42 years old. A record in kickboxing of 12 fights, 11 wins with 1 loss. In pro boxing, he's had 9 fights for 6 wins and 4 KOs and 3 losses. Fighting by the way of Melbourne, Victoria, will you please welcome Steve the Destroyer Irvine. His opponent tonight is a 25-year-old who's 6'3", weighs in at 119.5 kilos. A record of 15 fights, 10 wins, 6 KOs and 5 losses. He too has had a professional career in kickboxing with 9 wins from 11 fights. Would you please welcome from Onehunga, Richard the Tutaki Express. And the referee, Lance Rebel.
Referee will bring these two together. This should be an interesting stare down here. We saw this yesterday.
Yeah, it's all fun out there.
Look at the face of this Irvine. I love this guy.
Yeah,
we'll find out if he can fight, though.
We will. They're both nice and sweaty. They've obviously warmed up well.
Nice and relaxed. Tutaki. On the other hand, this guy looks anything but relaxed. Round number 1 from the Sky City Casino. James Smith along with Clint Brown, Kenny Rainsfield. Heavyweights going at it. Richard Tutaki in the black and yellow, and against Steve Irvine. Irvine's elbow's way too wide open for the left hook if Tutaki decides to throw it.
He's caught him already.
Big Steve's been pumping up for this fight. The Destroyer from Melbourne.
Look at his elbows, so he's way too wide. His head's right down. Tutaki should be able to land the left hook here.
Oh, he's wide open. He's right open, Smithy.
Despite that muscular frame, you can see there's nothing behind those shots. They're all arm punches thus far by Irvine. And again, nice and relaxed.
Good straight left.
Tutaki Express.
Both these guys have a background in kickboxing, and of course, Steve's been a lot in Japan, Thailand and Germany. Different weight sort of transfer, isn't it, between boxing and kickboxing?
How nice and relaxed Tutaki is landing the right hand. I don't think this one's going to go too far if Irvine doesn't get his hands up.
Yeah, Richard's carrying them pretty low too. It was a bit relaxed out there for me.
All of a sudden, Irvine turns into the boxer. He doesn't have the body of a slick boxer, does he?
This guy's a brawler. I think Richard, once he finds his range, is going to pick him off.
Yeah, all that really Tutaki has to do is turn over a right hand or the left hook. He's trying to set up that right hand now.
He's looking for the reach.
Round number 1 in the heavyweight division.
The Australians a bit worried about giving away 18 kilos. We'll
Well, they are heavyweights, Brownie, so they can give away as much weight as they want.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when Irvine's manager told me that he was worried about the weight. Right now what he needs to worry about is the punching ability of Tutaki. If Tutaki has any punch at all, he should be able to take this guy out. As we come up to 10 seconds to go in round number 1, already Irvine, despite that menacing demeanor, looking a little bit fatigued. Tutaki getting the better of it here in round number 1. In round number 1, you see Tutaki there, missing with a combination, but also landing the left hook. Irvine a little holding and hitting there.
Yeah, Richard landed a good right hand towards the end. I don't really see it here yet, but this guy Irvine was like he came in like a pit bull, but a pit bull with no teeth. And look at it.
There's that big right by the Express. Father of 3 from owning hunger is Asia, Star and Breeze are his 3 daughters. The carpet layer. Now can he lay out the Aussie in round number 2? 3 Sport live from the Sky City Convention Centre and Casino with our big night of knockout boxing.
Let's see if Tutaki picks up the pace here. He certainly won the first round, but a little bit ponderous. He needs to start getting his weight behind the shots. Here's a lead right. Another lead right by Tutaki. Calls himself the Express. Again, 10-5 with 6 KOs on a 2-fight win streak. You can see the kickboxing background. He doesn't really know how to can he set up his shots at this point. Irvine trying to come on.
Yeah. He's not giving himself any room, Smithy, at all. Once Richard comes in close, so everyone just stands and grabs him.
Well, these two should be busier, Brownie, because it's there's only 2-minute rounds. Normally fights are 3-minute rounds, so these two should be a little bit busier than they are.
Well, Tutaki's got the age advantage. He's the younger man at 25 compared to 42 for the Aussie. There's a good little head snapper.
Tutaki coming off a victory in October of 2003 over Lightning Lupe, whoever the heck that is. Right now,
Lightning Lupe.
Lupe?
Yeah, Lupe.
Irvine, very amateurish with those shots. All arm punches, going back, already fatigued.
Richard just needs to step up and put a right hand on him, and he'd finish it, I'm sure.
Yeah, if Tutaki would just come on and do what we call the old shoe shine and get him against the rope, but he himself looks a little bit fatigued.
He's actually been a sparring partner for Shane Cameron in the warm-ups for the Melo fight for the Mountain Warrior. And it looks like the Express would like to really stoke up the boiler and hit full speed. But
coming up on 20 seconds to go in round number 2, scheduled for 4. Tutaki with another combination. When you see a little
They're
bit
not really
later,
putting their shoulders behind it, Smithy, at all, are they?
You're right. Under 10 seconds to go. Another good round for Tutaki. He's winning the action, but again, not being that aggressive. Now a better combination. Nice left hook to punctuate round number 2.
Let's go.
You gotta listen.
Looking at the action in round number 2, and most of it provided by the Tutaki Express with a nice combination. Irvine more fatigued than anything else. I don't think they ruled that a knockdown, did they?
No, I think that was more of a rugby tackle, actually, Smithy. I think that one...
got a couple of good rights though, and a big left that
Big
time
left
by
hook.
Tutaki.
Yeah, look, he's gassed. He's totally gassed. He's just hanging there already.
Irvine with his hands on those ropes. You don't like to see that. A fighter should have his hands down at his side so the blood can flow. The only blood flowing right now is from the nose of Irvine. Round number 3, James Smith along with Clint Brown and Kenny Rainsfield from the Sky City Casino in Auckland, New Zealand. Big knockout night of boxing, and we could have our first knockout coming up if Tutaki would decide to get a little busier. Nice jab, snaps the head back of
Come on,
Irvine.
Richard, he can step it up. I know he can step it up a lot more than this. He's just not really showing it.
He came to prominence by winning an 8-man heavyweight boxing tournament instead of his kickboxing. Chance to switch into the old boxing realms.
A little bit later on when we see Shane Cameron in action, you'll see a guy who knows how to use leverage. What Tutaki doesn't know how to do is use his leverage. He's a decent fighter, but these are all arm punches. If he could just get that weight behind some of his shot, Irvine is there and ready to go.
Absolutely, Smithy. None of them are bending their knees. They're not sitting down their punches. They're not throwing their shoulders over. I mean, he's 20 kilos heavier than Shane Cameron, but Shane Cameron hit twice as hard.
There's a nice combination by Tutaki, but it's one punch at a time. Needs to throw the punches and bunches. Also dropping his hands when he's throwing it, but he's certainly doing enough, Clint, to win these rounds.
Yeah, but he wants the big knockout, mate. He wants to lay out the Aussie like a carpet layer should. And he's just using that jab now, finding his range.
Yeah, but it's one punch at a time. He needs to turn the right hand behind the jab. He's snapping the head back. There's a nice right hand by Tutaki.
Yeah.
Good answer back though from the Aussie.
Didn't follow it up, Smithy, though.
Again, not busy enough, Tutaki. He could get the stoppage here if he come forward as we come up to 30 seconds to go in round number 3, scheduled for 4. Tutaki trying to get busy, landing the jab, snapping the head back of Steve Irvine.
It's a bit of a suck-and-see type sort of approach, isn't it? They tend to sort of warm up towards the end of the bout.
Well, Rich has never been the fastest with his hand speed, but Shane reckons he's got plenty of weight on the punches.
Both fighters showing fatigue as we come to the end of another Tutaki round. 4th and final round to come. Stay tuned.
What's the chances of a draw in this one here?
No, I don't think so. I think
Come on, the
Tutaki.
first one.
Well, that was a mistake by the judges. I have Tutaki winning this. Finally, Irvine with a decent punch. Irvine, despite telling me he was a tenacious machine, looks anything but that. He's a lot scarier to look at than he is, but all of a sudden, he hears me and he comes on.
Oh, he's saving himself for the last rounds, maybe.
Knockouts come out. Now this is the big brawl that the Destroyer was talking about. And the Express comes back now.
Mouthpiece is on the ground. Is that Irvine's mouthpiece?
That's Irvine's mouthpiece.
Referee Lance Rebel will step in and get the mouthpiece, clean it off, and Irvine looks, he doesn't care whether he has a mouthpiece or whether it's dirty or not.
He's doing a bit of talking.
He went straight in the mouth. No washing it up.
Now he's fighting like Mad Max.
Well,
round warm up 2, final round.
An abrasion under the right eye of Tutaki. Nice combination. Irvine getting the better of this round, but I have him trailing in this fight.
Good left.
Oh, Richard, he's not throwing anything and needs to let his punches go.
He finally threw his best combination, but Tutaki did, but it was just a little bit off. We're under a minute to go in the fight.
Nice left hook.
Good combination from the Aussie.
Irvine having his best round, but now a nice right hand by Tutaki. Tutaki pretty much fights at the same pace the entire fight. Lands a nice left hook, but then lays out.
Well, what's the chance the Aussie might upset the Kiwi here with this effort in the last round.
I have him trailing, though. He certainly is getting the better of Tutaki in this fourth and final round. Tutaki looks a little bit winded.
Yeah, he's tiring, there's no doubt about it.
But Irvine wasn't busy in the opening 3 rounds, in my opinion, so he needs more than just a win in this fourth and final round. Crowd is enjoying it. They're standing. First of our heavyweight bouts.
Trainer urging Tutaki to start throwing some bombs. Now's the time to try and land the big one. It's too late.
End of the fight, certainly Irvine gets the better of it, in my estimation, in that last round. Having said that, I gave Tutaki the first 3 rounds. There should be no feeling out process, Kenny, in this, because, again, they're only 2-minute rounds.
Well, I actually agree with you, Smitty, on that, but listen, let's hope the referees agree with us.
Well, you agreed with me the first time, too.
Yeah, I know.
When we had Wiremu beating Marks, and he's looking at the action in fourth and final round. And you see that most of it, well, he hits himself. That was the best shot he, perhaps of the whole fight, that Irvine landed on himself.
Certainly the best one he threw.
Yeah, not a lot of skill from Steve Irvine. Maybe, maybe a career in acting.
He's 42. He's way at the end of it.
A few moments we'll get the judge's decision on this one. Lance Revel with the 2 fighters. Crowd enjoyed it. Again, I have Tutaki winning this fight. Good fight. Irvine saved his best action for the 4th and final round.
Who do you think's got the best tattoos there, Smitty?
Well, Irvine may have him beat in that category.
I think he might too.
It's the same. The expression has not changed on Tutaki.
No, Richard. No, he looks exactly the same. He'll be having a beer with that bloke later.
Got a little smile on his face. Clint Brown is just about ready to make it official. And let's throw it up to Clint Brown with a decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first judge scores the fight 38-37 in favour of Tutaki. Stephen Miles scores the fight 38-38. Gillespie scores the fight 39-37, and the winner by a split points decision, Richard the Tutaki Express.
Well, they got it right. Clint will get a chance to talk to the winner, Richard Tutaki.
Congratulations, Richard. Hard work out there, big guy.
Oh, mate, hard, all right. The extra 90 kilos really, it's quite too much to handle for me. Actually, he's a good fighter.
Looked like he did a lot of hard work in the early rounds, but he came back strong in that last one. You couldn't quite put him away, though.
Yeah, well, Express train put in the power today, but he's a tough Australian. Got to give him credit. He's a tough guy.
Good result for you, though.
Oh, I have done my best. I won, so for New Zealand. So, hey.
Well done, Richard, the Tutaki Express. First of the heavyweights tonight with our night of knockout boxing.
So there you have it. Tutaki with the victory, and our knockout night of boxing will continue when we come back to the Sky City Casino.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get a word in from Steve the Destroyer Irvine. Another performance courtesy of Kumar by the Soul of Siren production.
Oh, is he? Okay.
No, here, Paula, here. Yeah, number 3.
Okay. The polo, you have a piece on him? I'm sorry, go one more time. Haven't. Okay, what is that package about? Okay. Just a little background on Paula. That's what it is, right?
Former amateur super heavyweight champ, Paula Mataele.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Go ahead. Okay. When you say short, 15 seconds, less? Okay. Okay, great. Can you hear it right on your lips?
I am. Can you hear me now?
I told him. He hears you. All right. Paula Mataele in action against Phillip Hellisoe coming up. 4 rounds in the heavyweight division. We had the opportunity to talk to Paula. An interesting story, a former outstanding amateur and unbeaten as a pro.
Former amateur super heavyweight champion Paula Mataele has advanced to the ranks of pro boxing, but that doesn't mean he's given up his day job just yet.
Well, we are a small country, you know, and it's hard to get sponsored. You've got to give it your best, and hopefully you break it and you don't have to work.
Mataele sees tonight's knockout boxing event as an important stepping stone on his way to his best.
People get to see who I am, and yeah, exposure for Australia as well, so yeah, it's fantastic.
Mataele's build-up has seen him sparring with former tour camp teammate Shane Cameron.
It's good because you know, we're both helping one another here. You know, he's got the he's kind of short. You know, he's a real aggressive fighter, comes forward, and that's what I need. And you know, I got the height and the reach, and that's what he needs. So you know, it's kind of worked for the both of us.
So now it's time for the Tongan Tornado to work on protecting that unbeaten pro record of his. Welcome, making his pro debut, Phillip the Flying Dutchman Hellisoe. Paula the Tongan Tornado Mataele.
Mataele, I got to know this guy up close and personal with Team Tua, and Kevin Barry had him, and I've seen him in action. He's unbeaten as a pro. Decision in his first fight. After that, it's been all knockouts. He's the prototype heavyweight.
He's got the absolutely best physique you can have for a heavyweight boxer.
Maybe.
I know you disagree with me on that.
Well, you know, he's the size of the heavyweights of today, Kenny, you're right. Over 6'5". I'm of the personal belief that when you get over that, I've never seen a great heavyweight over 6'5", but maybe Polo can change things because, you know, you have the Klitschko's and, of course, Lennox Lewis was right at the 6'5", but the Klitschko's are over that because it's so hard to have your height and reach and all develop into a smooth fighter. So we'll see if he's able to put it all together. He's put it all together thus far in his career, both as an amateur and a professional. Paulo Mataele climbs inside the ring to go in against Phillip Hellisoe, scheduled for 4 rounds. A look at Paulo Mataele.
Yes, Smithy, I can agree with you, but how many of those older guys fought guys as high?
Well, we'll get a chance to see him in action. Clint Brown with the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a heavyweight bout over 4 2-minute rounds. The Australian Paul Robertson was a late replacement, of course, after the accident this week. And then Bob Gassio couldn't fight, so stepping into the ring for his pro debut after 2 amateur fights and 2 KOs. He weighs in at 116 kilos. He's 6 foot, a 28-year-old who trains out of the Zone Boxing Club from Beachhaven. He's a Dutch Samoan. Would you please welcome Phillip, the Flying Dutchman, Hellisoe. His opponent tonight, fighting out of the blue corner, a 26-year-old who's 6 foot 7, 116 kilos, .3. He's had 5 professional fights for 5 wins, 4 by the way of knockout. An amateur super heavyweight New Zealand boxing champion, formerly from the tour camp. Please give it up for Paula, the Tongan Tornado, Mataele. And your referee for this heavyweight bout is Steve Marshall.
Shirt off. Shirt off. Off. Shirt.
A referee telling these two to take off their shirts. This one scheduled for 4 rounds. I predict this will have our first knockout in this fight.
Yeah.
This is going to be our first knockout of this knockout night of boxing. A look at Phillip Hellisoe.
Come in, mate.
And he'll be looking up in just a second to Mataele.
Right, fellas, I've spoken to you both in the dressing room. You know exactly what I expect of you. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourselves at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Touch them up, gentlemen. Good luck. Go back to the corner and wait for me to call you
Mataele
out.
coming off a July victory of last year in State Line, Nevada, not far from my home of Las Vegas, a KO-1 over Jeremiah Constant.
Get that bucket.
Paula's, he's an inch taller than Lennox Lewis and has got a 3-inch longer reach, to give you some idea of the size of this man.
And the key will be utilization of that height and reach and leverage. And I saw improvement in him in the weeks that I saw him in action with Kevin Berry. We'll see how he's improved. Lead right hand by Mataele.
If you were making your pro debut up against this huge big Tongan, what would you do? Look at him.
Exactly what he's doing. Be aggressive and forget it and try to get inside and work the body and test the chin of Mataele that has not been tested yet as a pro.
Oh, you have to get inside him. He's going to pick you off with that reach. He'll jab your head off.
He's working on fighting on the inside, Mataele. That's one of the toughest things for big guys. The guy who probably did it the best of the bigger heavyweights, Riddick Bowe, was very good at fighting on the inside. That's a nice, crisp combination there by Mataele. Again, he hasn't not been able to establish his leverage yet, but I like the snap on his shots.
He's had some boxing in America. What sort of future do you see for a guy like Mataele? He looks the goods, doesn't he? Like, he's big, he's strong, he's fast.
Well, the key for in fights like this is to put this type of opponent away. This is a kid, Hellisoe, steps in here. You got to give him a lot of credit at the last second. Under a minute to go in round number 1. The big punch here for Mataele should be the uppercut. Should try to use that jab, you see, and the right hand. But Hellisoe leaning down and wide open for the uppercut, Kenny.
Yeah. You can definitely see the difference on the power of the punch. Here he goes.
Yeah, if he gets that 6'6" or 7" and whatever he is weight-wise behind it, there's certainly no fat on Mataele.
No, there's none at all. He's got good feet too. He's got good balance for a big man.
Under 30 seconds to go, round number 1. Paula Mataele in the blue trunks. Phillip Hellisoe in the black and silver. Round pretty much won by the boxing skills of Mataele. No big punches landed. Hellisoe got off to a good start.
Another one of the training and sparring partners for Shane Cameron. Getting used to punching up.
We'll see Shane a little bit later on. We come to the end of the first round, won by the big guy, unbeaten, Paula Mataele.
Come on, punch out. Come on.
Back at the Sky City Casino, action in round number 1. Nice combination by Mataele, the big guy, unbeaten, against the last-second replacement of Hellisoe.
Well, he did fantastically well. I mean, he just took this fight almost on last, minute call-up.
Well, what do you expect of this guy? What is his ethnicity? He's a what? He's a mixture.
Samoan Dutchman.
Well, that's no wonder he's tough.
He is tough. Yeah, that's 2 tough races.
Monty Barner, his trainer there, giving him some last-minute instructions. He's done very well to last the first round, and now he's going to come out in his professional debut against this huge tornado and try and he can last, what, another 2 minutes? A bit of a boxing experience. How will it finish?
Nice right hand by Mataele, finally starting to get the range. But again, the way this young man Hellisoe is dipping, I would throw the uppercut.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these punches are sailing overhead. If he come underneath, I think he could get the first knockout of the night. Nice body shot by Mataele.
I think he's rushing it a bit too, Smitty. I think he's just, he's not trying to set, he's not setting, he's rushing in.
Well, he's a little anxious. He hasn't fought in almost a year, actually, Mataele. Been doing a lot of great training, but has not been in action. Could be a little bit of ring rust. Again, most of these punches sailing over the head. There's a nice combination. Finally, he needs to come underneath. That's the key. And that's why some of the taller fighters aren't as effective, because they're so tall, they're not able to fight. Look at that.
That's got nothing to do with your particular stature, hasn't it, Smith?
No, absolutely nothing. But I wasn't a heavyweight. Right now, I think Phillip a little bit fatigued, Brownie.
Yeah, he's just hanging on, mate. He's trying to close it all up and trying to stay away from them. Look at the body punches now.
Oh, nice combination.
Nice. No, he's hurt.
I think that's the first KO of the night.
Set the towel. 40 seconds to go. I don't think Hellisoe wants to continue.
No, I think he's got it.
Box. Well, let's see. Let's see what kind of finisher Paula is.
He's tough.
Paula trying to set up the right hand, steps up, which is a good move to get his leverage. There's a nice right hand, ready to go any moment. Hellisoe and the referee decides to end this thing, or did the towel come in from the corner? Nevertheless, Mataele with his 6th victory of his career.
Well, Hellisoe stepped in the last minute. I think he put in a good show for this crowd. I mean, that was a gutsy thing to do. It's a debut fight against a man like that.
Well, you and I spoke about it prior to the broadcast, Kenny, the fact that it's so difficult to find anybody to match. You see the action at the end. Nice bit of body work and head punching by Mataele. He mixed it nice there, landed the right hand. Again, you see him trying to, it's a nice lead left. Needed to work on the inside fighting a little bit.
Yeah, he does, but he's always tended to work outside because of his height and reach. So that's why his sparring with Shane Cameron's been so good for him.
Well, let's make this thing official in just a moment. Clint Brown will make it official. Mataele with his 6th victory of his career and gets his 5th stoppage. Over a game, but outclassed Phillip Hellisoe. Let's make it official with Clint Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official result. The referee stopped the contest in the 2nd round. The winner by TKO. It's the Tornado. And a round of applause too for the last-minute ringing. His professional debut, Phillip Hellisoe. That was a big ask for you tonight, mate, but great courage for getting into the ring.
Yeah, well, look at the size of him. He's a big bastard. What do you expect? My blocks were sort of there, but I think he just went straight through it.
All right, mate, well done. Obviously a big learning curve with your professional debut. You're going to keep on going?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hopefully get some smaller guys?
Yeah, never give up, eh?
Well done, Phillip Hellisoe from Beach Haven. And the winner tonight, the Tongan Tornado. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Phillip here for giving this opportunity on a short notice. And to thank everyone here turning up, and my team here as well. So, thank you.
Now, you've done some boxing, obviously, in the States with the tour camp. Good to get back on TV here in New Zealand, on the undercard to Cameron.
Yes, especially in a big event like this. So, I'd like to thank Team Cameron as well for having me in the event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tongan Tornado. We'll see more of him, no doubt, with his heavyweight career.
All right, so a nice victory for Mataele over a game but outclassed opponent. Coming up, I think it'll be a very good bout when the Psycho Man, Jason Suttie, goes against Lawrence Tauasa, scheduled for 4 rounds in the heavyweight division when we return to the Sky City Casino for a knockout night of boxing.
Sings the best version of the New Zealand national anthem in any rugby or rugby league game you can see.
We.
Okay, we'll just step in 1, 2.
Casino Our Sight. Knockout night of boxing continues. Jason Suttie will take on Lawrence Tauasa in a heavyweight matchup. And here's a little background on the former kickboxing and K1 champion known as the Psycho.
Okay, we'll just step in 1, 2, -2.
As the winner of 6 world kickboxing titles, Jason Suttie has all the champion attributes of a fighter. He just adjusts them for boxing.
For the month leading up to the boxing fight, I only box. I changed my stance, you know, from kickboxing stance straight to a boxing stance with a little bit more side on.
In the lead up to this fight, Suttie has found sparring with fellow Kiwi heavyweight Shane Cameron has kept them on his toes.
I don't know which punch is coming. You know, he moves his shoulders well. You don't know if his left or right is coming. He's strong, really strong, and throws a very hard punch. I've been sparring him the last 5 weeks, and I think I've improved a little bit in those 5 weeks, hopefully. You have to ask him.
With a big K1 reputation preceding him and Oceania champs coming up in July, Suttie is putting a fair bit on the line for this bout.
I fear that all my kickboxing could be taken away by this boxer, but actually this opponent, he's had quite a few fights, so me and him boxing, he's got more to lose than me.
All right, let's take a look at how these two match up, Kenny.
Well, Jason, obviously a lot of kickboxing background. He's gonna big fighter, Jace. He'll rise to this occasion. Tauasa, he comes off 8 straight wins, 5 by KOs. More experience in the boxing ring.
All right, so we'll throw it up to Brownie to bring these guys inside the squared circle here at the Sky City Casino.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner from Australia, would you please welcome Lawrance, the Samoan Panther Tauasa.
All right. Gentleman has a very interesting fighter, 17-1-1, 12 KOs.
I've been really looking forward to this fight tonight, actually. I think this is going to be the fight of the night.
I agree with you, the way they match up. When you look at Tauasa, he's a guy who's has a very good record. He's been 12 rounds 3 times. He's been sparring with former world champion James Toney, who's now campaigning and quite successful as a heavyweight, coming off a stoppage of Evander Holyfield. Been working with the likes of Carlos Palomino.
And Jason Suttie, he will always fight. He's a fighter. He loves to fight. And so this is going to be a heck of a scrap, I tell you. Jace has always got turns, gets in shape.
Representing New Zealand, Jason the Psycho Suttie.
All right, the Psycho will come into the ring, and I know you're very familiar with this former kickboxing and K1 champion who will now try to be successful as a pugilist. He's been pretty good so far, 3-0.
Oh yeah, look, he's only got 3 fights, but Jace has done a heck of a lot of boxing. He's well adversed with the boxing ring. Don't worry about that. Jace will more than take care of himself out there. Shane said of all the opponents he's been sparring with him, he comes on the most. Jace will fight.
One of the things, though, Kenny, he is coming off almost a 1.5-year layoff. His last victory is December the 13th of 2002. He won a decision over Richard Tutaki, who we've already seen in action, but that's quite a layoff.
It is quite a layoff. Well, like I said to you, he likes to fight. He actually went over to Japan and had a pride fight, a mixed martial arts fight. Got him, nearly got his arm broke with a Sambo wrestler. So he's just recovering from that now. But Jace will put on a good show. Don't worry about that.
Well, he's demonstrating his versatility as a dancer. We'll see how he can fight when he steps inside the ring against the more experienced Tauasa. Crowd enjoying themselves here at the Sky City Casino for a knockout night of boxing. And time to introduce these fighters. Here's Brownie.
Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 96.8 kilos, 5'11", a 24-year-old with a record of 19 fights, 17 wins, 12 by KO, 1 loss and 1 draw. Australian Cruiserweight title. Would you please welcome Lawrance, the Samoan Panther Tauasa. His opponent tonight weighed in at 103.2 kilos, also 5'11", a 31-year-old, a 6-time world kickboxing champion in 5 different weight divisions, a New Zealand K1 champion. In boxing, he's had 3 fights, 3 wins by KO. Would you please welcome Jason the Psycho Suttie. And your referee for this heavyweight bout, Lance Rebel.
All right, Lance will bring these two together. I think what we have here is a matchup of the more skilled fighter, Tauasa, against perhaps the better athlete in Suttie. We'll see how
listen to my instructions.
They go at it
by my instructions all
when the bell rings for round number 1. Again, Tauasa, an Australian champion.
Yeah.
Round 1 scheduled for 4 rounds.
Tauasa's guards looks pretty high to me, Smitty. He's protecting his underbelly there.
Yeah. And you see that right away, Suttie looking to the body of Tauasa.
Both these guys will go downstairs. Tauasa likes to mix it up downstairs first.
Very short, nice, compact hook by Tauasa, who tells me is a combination of Tyson and Kashtazu. And if he is, that's one heck of a combo. Nice short left hook by Tauasa.
That's an angry man.
You can see the experience, though. Notice how he dipped there. I can see already the work with James Toney and his footwork.
Oh, nice hook by Suttie. Lead off left hook.
You can see that Tauasa very slick. It's kind of looking off his opponent, looking to the body and then faking. And no, I can see that work already with James Toney, guys. The way he's looking off his opponent and being kind of tricky and showing some savvy in there.
Jason throws a lot of combination punches himself. He's got very fast hands, Smitty, so look at that. It was a quick lead-off left hook.
Yeah, it was a slapping hook. That's the problem with guys going from kickboxing and K1 and things of that nature to the sweet science. Nice right hand by Tauasa. Back Suttie up, but Suttie obviously always a dangerous fighter. But again, going from that kickboxing when you're utilizing your legs and your feet and everything like that, and you're used to leading with your feet.
Yep, that's true.
Your feet are your weapons as a kickboxer. Your legs are your weapons and things like that. But as a fighter, Clint, you use your legs and everything for leverage. So it's quite an adjustment, in my opinion.
You've got to move your weight forward more. Good right by Tauasa, but the good thing about the Psycho, he took this fight because it's a good learning curve for him too.
Good first round for Tauasa.
Oh, absolutely, Jason will never turn that a scrap.
Welcome back to 3 Sport. We're live with the Sky City Casino and Convention Centre tonight, and there's Roy Alexander, cousin of, yes, out of the Penrith Panthers, and Lawrence Tauasa, the Samoan Panther, more experienced Australian fighter. He's lived in New Zealand actually for 10 years in Mangere, born in Samoa before moving to Sydney. A lot of fights around the Sydney, also the Southport, the Gold Coast area. He's had those 17 wins, 12 KOs up against Jason, the Psycho Suttie from, well, the gym down in Newmarket in Auckland.
Round number 2. James Smith along with Clint Brown, Kenny Rainsfield. I gave that first round to Tauasa, the better boxer of the two, way more experience. Been to 12 rounds 3 times. He's on an 8-fight win streak, 5 by KO, against a guy with relatively little experience as a professional fighter in Jason Suttie.
3 fights, 3 wins, 3 KOs for Suttie. But he took the hard fight. As you say, Kenny's not afraid of the hard work.
He is certainly a classy look, this Tauasa, though.
Tauasa, you can see all that,
Tauasa,
all that great work in the gym that he's doing. Again, with I mentioned the likes of James Toney. There's a nice uppercut by Suttie. His perhaps best punch of the fight.
Punch your way up.
So what would the trainers be saying at this stage, Kenny, for the Psycho?
I think the Psycho, he's got to stay out of a bit of a range. He works well on the inside, though, Jace. He's throwing some good lead left hooks. I'm just a bit worried about his condition. He's sort of blowing a bit after this, even after the first round. He's tying up straight away.
Well, we mentioned the fact that he hasn't been in action in a year and a half, whereas Tauasa's been quite busy. Coming off an April 28th victory, a KO.
Nice uppercut left hook there.
Tauasa very relaxed inside the ring. Suttie told me that his best punch was the right uppercut, and he's trying to utilize that shot as we come under 25 seconds to go here in round number 2. These two heavyweights getting ready. Nice combinations by Tauasa.
Good answer back, though, from the Psycho.
Psycho, though, a little bit wild. Looking a little bit like Norman Bates right now as he's getting battered by Tauasa.
Oh, overhand, he just let him go.
Those are short, crisp punches. Tauasa on the attack as we come to the end of a exciting second round.
Hands up, let's go, box. Oh, yeah.
action in round number 2, and you see most of it being provided by Tauasa on the attack, coming underneath, nice left hook, has Suttie against the corner and battering him. Good, especially close of the round. Those are nice, short, compact shots.
Nice shots, nice little overhands, nice right hooks.
Great exchange of combination though for the Psycho to try and box his way out of that corner right at the end of round 2.
Oh yeah, he tied him up at the end of it, and that was a smart thing to do.
3 Sport, we're live at the Sky City Convention Centre. This is Tauasa against Suttie. It's the Psycho against the Samoan Panther, and watch the bombs fly in this round.
Tauasa, very compact with his left hook, very short with his punches. You can see that experience as a prize fighter as compared to the Suttie, who's been, again, more experienced as an excellent world champion type kickboxer and K1 specialist. Big difference, though, when you're inside the ring. I see fatigue on the face of Suttie there, Kenny.
Yeah, he was at the end of that round. He's walking slowly back to his corner. And Tauasa's a nice, tight boxer.
Yeah, he is. And one of the mistakes Brownie Davis make. Oh, nice right hand by Tauasa. Suttie making a big mistake going straight back rather than side to side.
When I spoke to Tauasa before the bout, he says, I mean, what do you like to do? And he said, I like to mix it up. I'm a boxer, I'm a fighter, and I like to go downstairs and then finish him off. But, you know, whatever they do, I'll come back at them.
I can really see that tired, pained expression on the face of Jason Suttie. Right now getting outclassed by the more experienced Lawrance. Tauasa, very relaxed on the inside. Look at the utilization of the elbows. Everything that Tauasa throws is short and compact.
He's not wasting energy at all, Smithy.
No, none whatsoever. And he's a guy who has a lot of experience. He's been a lot of rounds. Suttie trying to come forward there. He's you can see he's a very good athlete and tough guy, but outclassed thus far here in round number 3 of the scheduled 4-rounder. Nice right hand by Tauasa.
Oh, it's a slip.
No knockdown.
But it's still a win-win bout for New Zealand because he lived in Mangere for 10 years, mate. So we'll claim him as a K1W1 before he sort of went to the dark side.
Yeah, that's a very Aussie thing to do, Clint.
Nice combination by Suttie there, but he's a little too far outside.
But I tell you what, you've got to admire the guts and the courage of Jason, the Psycho Suttie. I mean, he runs that huge Thai kickboxing gym down in Newmarket. He's tough.
Despite that, he's lost another round, in my opinion, as we come to the end of the 3rd round with 1 round to go in this heavyweight fight. Looking back at the action in round number 3, and most of it, Kenny, again provided by Tauasa, the more experienced prize fighter.
Yeah, that's true, Smitty. But Jason's going to get a lot of experience from fighting him. There's a bit of a slip. There was nothing in it, but it's going to be good experience for Jason. I think the real truth of it is that Jason's a kickboxer at heart,
right?
And he's just gaining experience to make himself a better kickboxer out of this boxing matches.
Well, and you bring out a good point. He probably will learn more in this fight than certainly his last 3 professional prize fights.
Absolutely.
As they say, you learn more from your losses, don't you?
Yeah, well, he's stepping up in class. There's no doubt about it than the other guys he's fought previously.
I didn't. The only thing I learned from my losses was to quit and get out of the game and go safely behind the microphone, as we're doing here tonight from the Sky City Casino. James Smith along with Clint Brown and Kenny Rainsfield. A night of boxing. Shane Cameron, the main event still to come. Against Gilberto Melo. Nice combination by Tauasa.
He had a good answer back too by the Psycho. He landed a good one there.
Oh yeah, Jason will never stop trying. You can no doubt about that.
But you know what, on the inside, when Suttie's on the inside, he just basically holds on. He doesn't really not know what to do on the inside.
He's not throwing anything off this Smithy at all.
And that's just a lack of the experience. And I mentioned it. So when I found out that Tauasa had been working with James Toney, and I'm such a James Toney fan, he's one of the best all-around fighters in boxing today, and then also working with Carlos Palomino. Tauasa also had 120 amateur fights, Brownie, and then the Psycho only had 1 as an amateur.
And look at these 2 guys exchanging blow for blow. Round 4, 50 seconds to go. Warming up for the main event, the Mountain Warrior against Gilberto Melo from Brazil, and 2 guys very evenly matched.
Come on, let's
Well,
go.
in size and stature,
Punch
but
away.
of course experience a
Punch
huge
inside.
advantage for
Come on,
the Australian.
Let's go, get it.
One of the things I really like about Tauasa, Kenny, is the very tight defense on the inside. He doesn't give up anything. Very good defense.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, beautiful. He doesn't,
Get back,
like I
get
said
back.
earlier, he's not
Get
wasting
back.
any energy. Once Jace tires, he just leans on him, waits, doesn't try and push him
Come on,
off.
punch inside.
Just waits for the opening, then throws shots off it.
This
As he's doing now, nice roll.
This perhaps the best round for Suttie. This round pretty close as we come under 10 seconds to go, but for the most part, it's been Tauasa, the more accurate, the better fighter here tonight. But good action to close
Great
out this
action.
bout.
Look at these guys. None of them wants to take a backward step. Look at them. Excellent action.
Great effort by the two boxers.
Fantastic.
Well, I got to give Suttie a lot of credit.
Yeah, you absolutely do. You know, he was outclassed, Smitty, but he certainly put a great fight up.
Well, and again, he'll learn so much from an experience like that. I'll look at Jason
absolutely.
Suttie.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, good. I'm a heck of a nice guy too. He trains up his gym, trains a lot of young kids. He's he's a good bloke and good on him from straight up there.
You see the action in the fourth and final round. Suttie probably had his best action, but you see the more short, crisper, harder shots landed by Tauasa. But I tell you what, very few guys with only 3 professional fights could go up against a guy with 120 amateur fights, a 17-1-1 record, and a guy who's been 12 rounds 3 times. So hats off to that man, the psycho, Jason Suttie.
Tauasa's a very accurate puncher too. He's not wasting energy on missing punches. He's landing most of them.
Now, if these judges have it right here, in my opinion, they'll have Tauasa with the victory. That last round, you could make a case, though, for Suttie, but still, I gave all... All right, just a few moments. 10th round will have the decision. Still to come, Shane Cameron and Gilberto Melo in the main event. A couple of lovelies here at the Sky City Casino. Not talking about myself in Rainsfield.
That's for sure, Smitty.
All right, it looks like Clint Brown has the official scorecard, so let's make it official with Clint Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official result of that fight. Judge Gibson scores the fight 39-38 to Suttie. Judge Gillespie scores the fight 39-37 to Tauasa. Judge Leonard scores the fight 40-36. And the winner by a split points decision from the blue corner, Jason the Psycho Suttie.
Wow, that's a little bit shocking that they would have a decision like that. I mean, I give him a lot of credit, but in essence, Tauasa kind of robbed in that fight.
Yeah, well,
Jason,
we're not judging it, Smitty, so I'll take it for the Kiwis.
Your first by a points decision, big learning experience there tonight.
Yeah, actually it was a learning experience to fight someone shorter than me. For a change, coming up from middleweight to super heavyweight, I practiced punching up, and tonight I had to punch down, and I hate punching down actually because the small guys all got knockout punches.
How good was Tauasa? I mean, a good fight for you? Good win for you?
It was a good win. You know, Lawrence has had an extensive amateur career, extensive professional career. I spar with the best boxers, and tonight I box with the best boxers. So I'm happy with that. Thank you very much.
Well done, Jason the Psycho Suttie, winner on points.
All right, well, perhaps I'm jet lagged a little bit and didn't see it the right way, but hats off to Jason Suttie. He gets the decision. I thought Tauasa won the fight. Nevertheless, a good scrap as we get ready for the main event. Shane Cameron taking on Gilberto Melo. A look at the Mountain Warrior. That's coming up from the Sky City Casino main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, there they are. Two boxers forming up for our main event. Gilberto Melo from Brazil up against Shane Cameron.
use the jab a lot more. Shane's using his head a lot more.
I can't hear anything either.
I think we're in a dance. Do your dance.
Okay.
Okay, that's me and Smitty. Okay.
I got you got to leave it all there to me.
Three-sporter tonight of knockout boxing. There's Luppy and Thomas Towers entertaining the crowd here ringside. And of course, we've had a draw, Smitty, so far. 2 splits decisions, 1 controversial decision, 1 KO. Now it's time for the main event. Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron up against Gilberto Melo. What are you going to be looking for tonight from Shane Cameron?
Well, the development, and we know he has power. We know he has some skills. We're going to see how much he's improved as a young heavyweight, and we'll take a look at the background of Shane Cameron,
who's been working very hard in training with his trainer Danny Codling.
You're going to come out and use the jab a lot more. Shane's using his head a lot more as well. So we're going to be looking to break this opponent down rather than just walk across and whack this guy. We're going to clinically just pick him to pieces.
Say the last fight, I weighed 99 kilos, now I'm 103, 4 kilos since then, and still feel faster and stronger.
There's a great science team here. Keir Hansen, we put some good muscle on Shane. It's the heaviest he's ever been. Shane's actually punching the fastest he's ever been punching at the moment.
Fitness, everything's 10 out of 10. You know, no complaints, no excuses on the night. You know, I'm ready.
Here's the tail of the tape for Shane Cameron, the 26-year-old, so he's got the age advantage, slight height advantage and a slight weight advantage tonight, but I suppose it's going to be come down to the power advantage of the punching.
Well, certainly we know Cameron has that power. 6 victories and 6 KOs, Kenny.
Yeah, Roberto wasn't. Melo's had 5. Yeah, and he's had more fights, but Shane's got far more strength in him, so I think he's going to win it quite comfortably.
8 fights, 5 wins, 3 KOs for the Brazilian, and there is Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron, the boy from Tinoroto, the shepherd from the East Coast, and his first fight at home tonight under Cullen Sports. So nerves, pressure, and a desire to perform, and he'll be live on stage next on 3 Sports. Stay with us.
Let's.
Ladies and gentlemen, won't be long before the main event. If you'd like to take your seats, please. The two boxers will be coming out of those doors in about 3 or 4 minutes. Fighting out of the red corner, could you give a big Kiwi welcome all the way from Brazil, Gilberto Melo.
And a look at the 29-year-old Brazilian. Had a very good amateur career, 100 fights, told me about 80 wins. He's coming off a couple of losses as a professional. His last fight, November the 18th of last year. He lost to Paula who's in the Klitschko camp.
Looked good in the weigh-in though, Smitty. I think this guy's going to give Shane. There's another step up in class for Shane. So I think it's going to be a really good fight, good stepping stone for him.
I agree with you. Melo steps inside the ring here.
His opponent tonight fighting out of the blue corner, Shane, the Mountain Warrior, Cameron.
And there he is, Shane Cameron. I've called a couple of his fights in the United States when he was under the tutelage of Kevin Barry. A couple of knockouts, and I mean devastating knockouts. This guy really knows how to put his power behind his shots, his weight behind his shots, and he'll be the heaviest of his career when he comes inside this ring tonight.
That's right, Smitty. This is the heaviest he's ever weighed in for a fight. He's looking great. Danny's had a great job of getting in shape. When I watched him the other day, he's moving fast. He's moving his head a lot more. Danny's been working off his jab a lot more. I think it's going to be a very, very good fight tonight.
Very strong, powerful young man. Goes to the body well. Best punch is probably the overhand right. Coming off a January 19th TKO and 2 victory over Richard Kemp. Shane the Mountain Man Cameron ready to go in our main event, and we're ready to go, so let's throw it up to Clint Brown to get our main event underway.
Booyah, let's bring it on. Cullen Sports Promotions now proudly bring you the main event of the evening. In association with the New Zealand Professional Boxing Association, it's a professional heavyweight contest over 6 3-minute rounds. The title contest is being conducted under the boxing rules of the World Boxing Commission and the New Zealand Professional Boxing Association Incorporated. Your contest officials tonight: New Zealand Professional Boxing Association President Mr. Lawrence. The doctor, ringside doctor, is Bashir Ahmed. The timekeepers, Mrs. Joan Belton and Kylie. Fight and ringside supervisor, Mr. Gareth Belton. The fight judges, Pat Leonard, Bob Gibson, John Gillespie, and the referee for tonight's bout is Suttie, Steve Marshall. Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 95.7 kilos, 6 foot, 29 years old, with a professional record of 8 fights, 5 wins, 3 by KO with 3 losses. All the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Gilberto Melo. His opponent tonight is a 26-year-old. He's 6'2", weighs in at 102.3 kilos. He's had 6 wins from 6 KOs. That's his professional career. A former New Zealand amateur champion, a bronze medalist from the Manchester Commonwealth Games. His first fight at home under Cullen Sports. Would you give it up for Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron? Rules of the bout, the 3 knockdown rules in effect. There will be no standing 8 count. The belt can save the boxer only in the last round. The judges will use the bout. They'll be using the 10-point must scoring system. The fighter who is hit with a low blow must continue after a rest period of 5 minutes or less, as determined by the referee, or will lose the fight by technical knockout. In the event of a stoppage or by a cut, it will go to the judges' cards. Your referee, Steve Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, the main event for a night of knockout boxing. Booyah, let's bring it on.
Brownie doing a great Michael Buffer there.
Been looking forward to this fight tonight.
I've spoken to you both for your interpreter.
Great to see Shane Cameron again.
Okay, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up, gentlemen. Good luck.
I think that you may be right about this, Kenny, that Melo may provide his best opposition of his career. Cameron, 6-0 with 6 KOs, looking to make it 7. I think Melo's best opportunity would be to try to take Shane into some deep water the later rounds. We'll see if he can get out of the first few rounds, something that not many have been able to do against the Mountain Warrior. Ready to go for round number 1, scheduled for 6 in the heavyweight division.
Box.
James Smith along with Clint Brown and Kenny Rainsfield. Gilberto Melo told me was inspired by Felix Savon, the former Cuban amateur champion, and Mike Tyson. Another good combination there.
Well, he actually went to a school, a boxing school in Sao Paulo in Brazil, and that's where he took up the art of boxing via the Cubans, so no doubt he's got a great heritage there in following the style of Felix Savon. He also is a big fan of Oscar De La Hoya.
What I like already, Kenny, from Shane is utilization of the most important punch in boxing, the jab.
Yeah, that's what he said he was going to be working on. Danny's had him working on his jab a lot. Melo looks very relaxed out there, actually, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And one of the things Shane's going to want to work on is head movement. When you score all those early knockouts, sometimes, again, you get so used to guys going down that you're not able to work on all your skills, but they've done a real good job, they tell me, in the gym with Shane of working on all the skills, the head movement, the upper body movement, slipping, sliding, and the jab, and we see that already. He's not really going out trying to just whack this guy out of here.
Well, his first round tactics, he basically said to stick the jab in his face and let's see what happens from there.
You'll see Shane coming up, probably going to the body. He likes to work the left hook to the body. Pretty good defense provided by Melo here early.
Yeah, Danny's had him not putting all his power into every punch he throws, so you know he's doing that right now. He's just working his way in.
And that's something he's going to have to do as he goes up in the heavyweight division, Shane Cameron, because he's not, the biggest heavyweight. We mentioned the prototypical type heavyweight of today is like Mataele, the real big guys. Shane Cameron along the size of an Evander Holyfield, and when you're that size, you got to box and punch.
Yeah, Shane's been, like I say, working well in the gym, and let's hope he brings it to the ring. So it's okay doing it in the gym. This is where it counts, right here.
Nice utilization of the jab by Gilberto Melo. Shane attempting to throw the right hand to the body. Under a minute to go. Round number 1 scheduled for 6. Main event.
Melo started with a professional loss with a unanimous decision over 4 rounds. Then he won 5 in a row, as 5 fights in a row before losing 2 fights away from home. 1 in Russia, 1 in Germany.
Big right hand try by Melo there.
Missed that shot. Shane really busy. There's a nice right hand. This is the most patient I've ever seen, Shane.
Yeah, he is. He's taking his time. He's working his way in. He's working the jab. It's nice. It's good to see.
Very relaxed in there as we come under 20 seconds to go in this first round. Cameron, focused, unbeaten, and wants to remain so. There's a nice jab by Cameron.
Has been known as a slow starter, even as an amateur, and sort of warms up to the fight. Gets better even in the later rounds, actually.
Good first round for Shane Cameron. Round 2 coming up.
Good stop.
Bronze medalist from Manchester. Big night for the 2 guys at home tonight. Under Cullen Sports and 3 Sport, we're live. Sky City Casino, Saturday night fights.
It's Saturday night. Okay, it's Friday in Las Vegas. I'm confused, and I got to head to Mexico tomorrow. But while I have the opportunity, I want to thank Dean Lonergan and Don Mann and TV3 for bringing me out here. It's always great to hang out with you guys and see some excellent heavyweight action.
That was a good punch.
Nice body whack there by Cameron. You see he doesn't waste anything. His shots are short and compact, whereas you see Melo winding up there, telegraphing that shot, making it easy for Cameron to pick it off. There's another telegraphing, looping right hand.
That was wild.
But there's a nice right hand by Melo, which got through.
Starting to drop his hands a bit now, Smitty, too.
Yeah, just noticing that the Brazilian there, just dropping the old hands and opening up the door for the Mountain Warrior.
Like to see Shane go to the body, especially here early. Those body punches can be very debilitating. If you think the hands are dropping now at Melo, if Cameron would decide to dip down and go to the body, perhaps to do a lot more damage. Those body shots, they stay with you, Kenny.
Well, he's got a fantastic left hook to the body, and that's just a natural punch for him. I'm sure you'll see it. Won't be far off throwing it.
Or he's in position to throw it. Sometimes when you're working on new things and you have a new trainer and you're working on the jab and the right hand and other things, you sometimes forget about some of your best shots.
That's true. I'm sure he'll come back to the money punch, though.
Round number 2 from the Sky City Casino, our main event. Shane Cameron.
He hasn't been past the 3rd round in his fights so far. Won all of them with a knockout before round 3, or in round 3. Hasn't gone to 4 rounds so far in his pro career.
You know what I'm impressed with, guys, is the fact that Melo's not running, though. He's not worried and not intimidated by the punching power of Cameron, or the fact that, that he's in a partisan. Nice hook, though. That
hurt him. He's shaking his head, but I think that hurt him. That's it.
Followed up the instructions of the corner that time, Kenny.
Yeah, he did.
He's getting a little wider with his shots, Melo. That's going to open up some of the more short, powerful shots of Shane Cameron. He definitely hurt him with that left hook. If he can double up on that punch and perhaps another nice short left hook. Where's the right hand? There it is by Cameron.
Box out.
Melo looks a little red under his right eye there, to me.
He's starting to systematically break down Melo here in round number 2. 30 seconds to go. Those are short, powerful punches.
And hold. Come on, box out. Break.
It's nice work by Shane. He's just warming up. He's warming up too. He's not rushing.
Yeah, I actually like to see this, the way he's breaking his opponent down as we come under 15 seconds to go. Another good round for Shane Cameron. Definitely got the attention of Melo with a couple of left hooks.
Shane's keeping his chin nice and low. He's not lifting his head at all.
Just missed with the right hand as we come to the end of the second round.
Oh, nice one.
Good shit. Left hook.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely listening to his corner there, Brownie.
Okay, just quickly take me through the end of it after I've done the interviews. Then basically we wrap it up for the crowd and get down here and wrap it up for TV. Okay, now do we talk to both fighters? That means we'll have to have the Brazilian interpreter here, Marua Fernandes.
Action in round number 2. Nice right hand by Cameron. Definitely hurt Melo. Short, powerful, compact shots.
He's shaking his head there. That one landed in that left hook too. He's stepping off.
Oh, another one as well, right on the button there. So the Mountain Warrior stepping up to the mark here. Danny Conling laying down the instructions for round number 3. This is where he normally gets his big KO. Don't forget he hasn't gone past this round.
And you see a little fatigued, winded expression. Melo starting to feel the pain and the pressure provided by Shane Cameron. And I mentioned Holyfield, you know, in terms of physique and size, and I see some of the Holyfield elbows and short, compact shots. I like what I see. There's a looping right by Melo.
That got Shane's attention. Don't worry about it. Shane will be answering him for that one.
The Shepherd stalking him though.
A little bit better upper body movement, though, by Cameron than I've seen in the past. Something they're working on. You see a little. He needs to even do that more to accentuate the upper body movement, bobbing and weaving. Again, he's not the biggest heavyweight in the world by today's standards of heavyweights.
From the fights you've seen him do in America, I mean, how has he improved?
Well, patience. I think what we're seeing right now is a lot of patience. And when you're like that, he was able to pick off his better defense, picking off shots, more utilization of the jab. And again, sometimes when you're working on going to the next level, you have to sort of take that step backward in terms of concentrating on your power and whacking guys out. So we like what we see so far of Cameron. He's still breaking down Melo. He's coming forward. He's landing the cleaner, harder shots. He's cutting off the ring.
I want to see him go to the body a bit more, though, Smitty. I don't think he's really done that yet, and that's always been his forte.
I agree with you, Kenny, and I think, again, it's probably because he's working on those the new tricks of the trade. There's a nice short left hook. Now that's the kind you need to go to the body and then up to the head. Nice right hand. Very short, good left hook by Cameron. He would just pick it up, and I think we'll start to see him pick it up.
I'd like to see him work a bit more in there too, when he gets to the inside.
He's also been working on keeping those gloves up and taking a lot of the shots from Melo on the gloves. So, you know, good defense.
You know, he's always in good position to punch, though. Cameron is very nice and balanced when he throws a shot. There he's setting up the right hand. Used a little clawing jab to set up the right hand. Round number 3 scheduled for 6-hour main event from the Sky City Casino. Great crowd. Nice right hand by Cameron.
Box out.
Crowd really enjoying the action tonight, Brownie.
Yeah, warming up to it, mate. We've had quite a few variety of decisions with a couple of splits and a couple of, one draw and one hometown decision, certainly.
I don't think we got one right, did we, Smitty?
I'm not going to comment. Let's just enjoy. Oh, nice uppercut by Cameron.
He's got him in the corner now, trying to finish him off with 46 to go in round 3. Looking for that big KO.
Melo showing, to me, some signs of fatigue, backing straight up now.
Yeah.
Time for Cameron to get busy and let those punches go. Just missed with a left hook. Nice move by Melo to slide out of there. But now Melo starting to you can see that he's a little tentative now, slapping with the left hook. Under 25 to go.
He's looking for the bell.
He's not throwing any jabs like he was earlier on at all, Smitty.
I think Shane's really breaking him down. You know, he's landing some really nice, hard, clean shots. He puts pressure on you mentally. Another good round for Shane Cameron as we come to the end of round number 3. Cameron not used to going this far, but nevertheless winning on my scorecard thus far.
Welcome back to 3 Sport. Our humble apologies about that. We were just hit with a massive power cut here at the Sky City Convention Centre at the worst possible moment, right on that commercial break as they came out for the start of round 4. We had absolutely nothing working. No sound, no cameras, no lights. Everything was dead. So unfortunately we weren't able to actually shoot what happened in round 4, but we can tell you about it because everything is back now working, which is just incredible bad timing, but that's unfortunately life with live TV. So don't ring up TV3 and complain because we're totally disappointed ourselves. But James Smith, the result, a good win for Shane the Mountain Warrior. Cameron, tell us about it.
We promised a knockout night of boxing, and we have it. I've actually seen this happen before. At the end of the day, it came down to the power of Shane Cameron. Once he decided to go to the body, it was lights out for Gilberto Melo. And all in all, an excellent night of boxing.
And Kenny, what did you think of the performance? He's gone 4 rounds and he got the knockout. 7 wins, 7 KOs now, and he did it with a big body rip this time.
That's his money punch, Brownie, and he went to it in the end. And he worked to a plan. He worked to a plan that Daniel Codling had worked out for him. I spoke to him earlier in the week. They said they were going to do that. They were going to work off the jab, work their way in, get into the fight and let go the big shot, and that was it.
It's interesting he's got Johnny Lewis in the corner, the top Australian trainer too, so lots of good heads behind Shane Cameron. Overall a good stepping stone, his first fight here under Cullen Sports.
A step up in opponent for him. It was a great result, a good win for Cullen Sports, a good win for Shane Cameron, of course, and and Daniel Codling, the whole lot. Great fight night.
Smitty, well, you've called the ones in America, you've called, 3/3 or 3/4 of this one. What do you think overall?
Just a great night of boxing. The fans had a great night. I want to thank Dean Lonergan and TV3. Great being with you, Kenny, and of course you again. I'm off to Mexico, and then I'll be hanging out with Mike Tyson. Hopefully he won't knock me out when I see him. But a great night of boxing and a lot of improvement from Shane Cameron. Look forward to coming back and seeing him in action again.
Once again, our humble apologies with that power cut, wiping out the crucial moment of Shane Cameron's victory tonight on 3 Sport. Sorry you missed it, but we all missed it, except for the people live here. But that's the first of a 5-fight deal that will be following the career of Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron. On behalf of the crew tonight, I'm Clint Brown. Thanks for joining us on 3 Sport. Good night, and may the power be with you and with us. Sorry. Good night.